Hey there, and welcome back to Badass Branding. We're still in Module 2, the Brand Strategy Fundamentals, and in this lesson number 2, we are going to be defining your brand personality. And as we always start with the truth bomb, and that is brand personality is what your audience will connect with. It is also going to repel those who are not right for you. So when you are putting your stuff out there and putting yourself out there, your personality isn't designed to be for all people. It's designed to attract a specific audience. So in this lesson, you're going to learn what brand identity is and why it's important. You're going to learn the different ways to uncover your brand personality, and you're going to learn a very simple, deceptively simple method to uncover your own. So let's get into it. So what is brand personality? Well, brand personality refers to a human characteristic that is associated with a business or brand. These are the adjectives that convey how people can perceive and describe you. For instance, are you happy? Are you creative, friendly, wacky, elegant, reliable, etc.? And when you're looking at brand personality, you can look at the two different types. You got your business brand versus a personal brand. Now, in a business brand personality, this is when the human personification of your brand is conveyed via these adjectives, right? So this is when your business takes on that personality. It's not an actual person, but it takes on the personality of a person. So if your business were a person, who would they be? So let's look at the Harley-Davidson example again as a business brand personality. They're known as masculine and powerful. They definitely have an edgy tone that's free-spirited, and they sort of have the archetype of the outlaw or renegade. So that really works with the Harley-Davidson brand. And then when you look at a personal brand, which are probably going to be most of us if you're watching this course, online entrepreneurs, we are the business, right? The brand personality traits will be our very own personality traits, and that's kind of the difference there. So let's look at an example of a personal brand personality, and this is Tony Robbins. We all probably know him. He's super masculine. He's a very powerful guy. He's a huge guy. He has a huge presence, but he's also very emotional. And of course, he's inspirational, and he has this larger than life presence, and he's sort of a sage, right? He knows a lot of things, and he helps a lot of people. And then if you look at our very own Bobby Klink, he's also a masculine, and he's also Reggie and a renegade. You know, he always talks about a renegade thinking and bucking the common trends in marketing and whatnot. He's also kind of wacky. He's super smart and went to Harvard. He's funny, and he's very giving, and he says funny things like candidly all the time. And then if you look at my own brand personality, I'm more casual, definitely creative. I'm a designer and a musician. I'm friendly and relatable. I go by the moniker of your brand buddy because I just want to be there to help people. I'm very reliable and professional, and I'm approachable. And I speak casually like, what's up, how you doing, etc. So why is personality so important in branding? Well, brand personality is what builds the connection with your audience. It's really like making friends. Your brand personality can really differentiate you from your competition as well. And when you are up against your competition, if you guys have the same personality and the same sort of visual branding, it's not standing out. So when you sort of incorporate your brand, your unique brand personality into your visual brand, it can really differentiate you from your competition. So how do you determine your brand personality? Well, there are several ways of doing that. Many of you may have seen the Myers-Briggs personality test. I am an ENFJ if you are interested in that. And actually, I believe mine, only 4% of people have the ENFJ. And then there are Carl Jung's archetypes, which are sort of these frameworks that allow you to put your brand into these frameworks that fall into each one of these 12 that sort of talk to how your personality shows up. So you might have the magician, or you're a hero, or a jester, or an everyman. I often fall in the everyman. And with archetypes, you usually pick one or two that you can use to help convey your brand personality. And then there are things like Enneagrams, and there's a plethora of other online personality tests as well. So this can help you definitely figure out what your personality is, and you can apply that to how you show up in your business. And then there's also another way of doing that, and that's sort of understanding your Gallup strengths. And then that can help you uncover your personality as well. And Bobby has an episode about this with Anna Nelson, who is a Gallup certified strengths coach. And I have worked with her, and it's very, very enlightening. I highly suggest checking that out because it's personality, but it also really hones in on the strengths and what you're good at, so that way you can really utilize the things that you're good at and apply them into your business. So it's not personality per se, but it definitely involves personality. So these personality frameworks can help you really hone in on that personality, the attributes, so that you can apply to your brand, as I said. So my no-nonsense method for determining your brand personality, and this is a really keep it simple, stupid kind of rule, and it is make a list of your top 10 adjectives you want to be known for. So this is an action item here. So I want you to go through and just research a bunch of adjectives and write down, do a brain dump, and then write down and then sort of narrow it down to the top 10 you want to be known for. And then while you're doing that, I want you to ask yourself, how would your friends and family describe you? Ask yourself, what am I good at when it comes to relationships? Because building a brand is really about relationships. Then ask yourself, what would your ideal audience expect from you? And how do your values show up in your personality? So those are all very good prompts to ask yourself when you're trying to determine which top 10 personality traits you kind of want to be known for, or you want to exhibit in your brand. And here's just an example list of adjectives. Obviously, it's not exhaustive, but it just kind of gives you an idea of what to do when you start doing this. And it's really important, and this kind of goes without saying, but I do want to stress it, that you want to use positive attributes. Unless you want to be known as a grouch or an angry person, use the positive attributes, because those are the things that are going to connect with people. So the next step you want to do once you get your top 10 personality attributes, you want to highlight the top 3. And I know it's kind of hard to narrow that down, and you'll still be able to use all of these, but you want to narrow down the top 3 just so you can get a really good short list of the top 3 that you want to be known for. And then those top 3 attributes, and this is important here, these are going to help inform what you do when it comes to picking your colors and your fonts. And we'll be doing that in an upcoming module. And one warning here is resist the urge to use too many personality traits in your brand. Personality is only one facet of your brand, and that's why we narrow it down to the top 3. And there are multiple things in your business and your brand that are going to help convey certain things and personality, such as your writing style, your vocabulary, your colors, your fonts, your actual copy, your photography, your brand design. So again, I'll use this slide deck as a brand design example of how personality can be shown through visuals. So it's not just colors and fonts, but it's also visuals and the style of those visuals. So that's why I want to be real careful not to overthink. You might have a whole list of great attributes and you say, well, I don't want to exclude a certain one because that one's important. You could still use that in other facets of your brand. We're just using this that's going to help us inform what colors and fonts we choose in one of the upcoming modules. So take action now, make a list of your top 10 personality attributes and highlight those top 3. Do some research, hop into thesaurus.com, just do some research, ask those questions, those question prompts that I told you about, and put those 3 in your back pocket or write them down somewhere, because we are going to be using them in Module 3 when we start to build out your brand starter kit or your brand identity. So when you understand your brand personality, it is much easier to build a brand that will actually connect with and attract your ideal audience, because in the end, you are exhibiting your true personality and not some fake personality. So That's it for this lesson. Just to give a recap, we went over the importance of brand personality. We went over different ways to uncover your personality, and of course, my keep it simple, stupid method of determining your own. You can use that simple method. You can also use some of those personality quizzes to help sort of gather a bunch of different perspectives on your personality, and that will help you with that as well. In the next lesson, we are going to dive into the sexy part of branding, and that is the fundamentals of brand identity. This is the visual stuff that everybody always wants to jump to, and now that we have done a lot of this basic strategy work, we can actually start getting into that part. So we'll see you in the next lesson.